Whoa, now wait just a minute. You mean to tell me that in this future, the dominant species on planet Earth are insects? Insects. Dear Lord, this film has, without question, the scariest post-apocalyptic setting I've ever seen. Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here with another review for Studio Ghibli Month. And today we're going to be reviewing Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. And joining us in this review is our first special guest for this month, Flip from After End Media. What's up, man?
How's it going, everyone? I'm Flip from After End Media, and today I'm going to be talking about Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind.
So Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, my god, that's a mouthful, takes place in the distant future where industrial civilization has collapsed and a swamp of toxic vapor known as the Sea of Decay covered the earth and threatened human survival. It's from here that we follow our main character, Nausicaa, who's a princess that lives peacefully in the Valley of the Wind. But that all changes when a rival clan infiltrates their village and takes it over and forces Nausicaa to come with them back to their homeland. And through this journey, they go through many perils, meet new people, learn truths and catastrophes that threaten the lives of the people in the Valley of the Wind. And so it's up to Nausicaa to save them all.
This is a film that came out in 1984, directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and this is a film that is one of my more favorites that he's directed. It's such a beautifully put together film, and you can say that with pretty much all of his films, let's be honest here, but this one specifically just has such a good message to it about the balance between the humans and nature rising back against the humans, and it's a really good struggle between humans at war and how we're going to stop this and having their own internal struggles versus this impending doom that's going to happen. Nausicaa is a very interesting character, as she is a very relatable of sorts character because she cares a lot about everything rather than just sticking to a side in this film. While the humans are kind of at war with themselves over how they're going to stop the forest from growing and kind of killing the humans because it's unbreathable, and these impending doom with these creatures in there that are upset with the humans at certain points, and she really takes that neutral ground where she has this deep connection with both the humans and the forest and the creatures from the forest and wants to unite everything peacefully. And that's why I really like this film, because it does send a pretty powerful message. And Nausicaa never plays by the numbers of how a regular movie should go by, and especially for an anime. It kind of does its own thing, as while you'll see it kind of do similar things like, okay, I can kind of tell what's going to happen, it really kind of goes in a couple different ways and kind of gives you some extra backstory, some extra character development that you may not see in other, anime or in other shows in general or movies or anything in general. And that's why I like it. It's a tight-knit 2-hour movie that by the end of it, you feel like you went on this grand journey but still kept it so condensed, but in a nice way. It's a nice little package that was put together and thoroughly and truly masterfully executed. Even the manga for this film is absolutely incredible. The multiple issues in the manga series were fantastic, and this film does it 100% justice. It's a beautifully made film. The color palette is incredible. The character designs are incredible, and you just fall in love with how this is made. And this really makes me wish a lot of the anime or even anime films that I see today were kind of still made like this, because there's something about this, the way that it's made compared to how most are made nowadays with the whole like fake 3D but not 3D type look. This one really has that nostalgic 2D hand-drawn animation look, and that's why it's so beautiful and it works out great. And I highly recommend, if you've not, for any reason, not seen Nausicaa in the Valley of the Wind, it is one of the best Hayao Miyazaki films, and I highly recommend that you check that out.
Interesting review there, Flip. You brought up a lot of great points. I wonder what I think about this film now. Well, I guess we better find out. Some of what Flip acknowledged in his portion, I agree with wholeheartedly. Like the animation, it's fantastic in this film. Its visual style is second to none. It is very unique. The film looks amazing from its colors to its character designs. I especially like the designs that they did for not only the landscapes, as they felt very grand and epic, but also the way that the insects look. They look out of this world, almost alien-like, and sometimes even godlike. Like the Ohms, they look like a powerhouse to be reckoned with and something you should never ever mess with. And tying into that, this world is just so fascinating. I wanted to learn more about how society got to this. I wanted to explore more about this world. And luckily I can, because this film is actually based on a manga made by Hayao Miyazaki, and I'm sure they explore way more in the manga than they can in this 2-hour film. So it does a good job at getting me excited and curious to check more of this world out. Also, Nausicaa is the film that established many, if not all, of the reoccurring tropes and motifs that we see prevalently in Miyazaki films, like environmental anti-war themes, a female lead, flight, music done by Joe Hisaishi. I mean, those are basically like things that you can always expect in a Miyazaki film. There were some solid moments of action in the film, particularly the sky battles. They were exhilarating to watch, and there were some characters that I thoroughly enjoyed. My personal favorite was Lord Yupa, voiced by Patrick Stewart, who was the best voice actor in the entire film. I mean, Lord Yupa was just such an interesting character. They don't really tell you much about him, but because of the mysterious aura that surrounded him, you just kind of latched on to the character. Not only that, he's a freaking badass. He's actually a legendary warrior in this world. Like, he has such a reputation, which made him even more interesting to me. And there were actually some fun comic relief characters here and there too. But I gotta be honest with you guys, and I know this is going to disappoint a lot of you, including Flip, who is featured in this very review, but I don't see why many people think that Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is such a great film, as I personally saw a lot of glaring issues with it. The biggest problem for me with this film is that I found it incredibly difficult to be invested in anything that was happening. And I think that's attributed to its story and characters. Now, both of these elements aren't bad, it's just they're nothing truly special. They're pretty average. Like, let's take the story. The story is pretty standard and by the numbers. Not only that, but it's way too overcrowded. There are way too many plot lines going on all at once, and there's not enough time to really focus and establish all of these subplots and give them the time that they definitely needed. Now, I won't deny that each of the subplots play a crucial role in the story, and they all do come together in the end, though I felt like to get to the end, they just kind of rushed through many of the subplots that definitely needed more time to be fleshed out and explored. And the characters, while not horrible, aren't all that fascinating or even that developed. Nausicaa, our lead, comes off as a Mary Sue, a character that is literally without flaws, perfect in every sense of the word. She's able to accomplish feats that no other character in this world is able to do, such as calming down an Ohm when its eyes are red with anger. She's the only one in the film that is shown doing this. She's able to calm it down, this godlike creature that can destroy entire civilizations. She can calm it down and send it back into the forest. In fact, she can calm down mostly any animal in this film with ease. Not to mention, she's able to assist and help people with little to no effort, take down a bunch of guys single-handedly, and survives perilous situation after perilous situation with little to no injuries or damages. The character is so godlike, I'm surprised that she doesn't just easily solve all the issues that plague this world. And I know what many of you are gonna say. Don't they kind of hint at the fact that she is this godlike character in this film, like a messiah type? And you're right, they do hint at that. In fact, they blatantly say it at the end of the film, like, she's the messiah that we all have been waiting for. But the problem with messiah type characters is that when you put a character on such a pedestal, you remove the humanity of the character. You remove that thing that most people can relate to. Having a character that has flaws and weaknesses doesn't take away from the character, it actually adds a lot of dimensions to the character. It shows that the character is human. The character can be relatable and we can find something to latch onto and attach with and relate to. When you have a character that is damn near flawless, ironically, that is the biggest flaw of that character. They're just not relatable anymore and you don't care. There's no sense of peril, there's no sense of threat. The character will survive the situation. It's almost the exact same complaint that I have with OP characters in anime series. Characters that are just so powerful that nobody can stand up to them. Nobody can stop them. That's Nausicaa in this film. She is that OP character. Not only that, but she doesn't have much in the development department either, as the character is the same in the beginning as she is at the end. No real growth and no real development. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Asbel, a character that has no interesting attributes, does little to nothing in the film, and is so dull and forgettable. Why did they even include him in the film? What purpose did his character serve to the story? Nothing. You literally can take him out of the film and a story would continue on with no problems. The only reason I could see for them including him in the film is to add a possible love interest for Nausicaa to have, even though these characters have no chemistry whatsoever. They don't even spend enough time for you to actually feel there's a growing bond between them. Most of their moments are so short and sporadic, not even enough to build a friendship. It's just like they bumped into each other and like, hey, hey, I'll see you later, and that's it. That's how deep their relationship goes. And finally, we have Kushana, the princess of Tomikia, the rival clan that took over the Valley of the Wind. And she could have been a multi-layered and fascinating character with a rich backstory. In fact, I did like her backstory, which explained a lot about her hatred for insects. It made a lot of sense, and her motivations were clear. But at the end of the day, she just comes off as a second-rate anti-hero that doesn't really have much to her. I mean, besides her hatred for insects, what else is there to the character? She's a blank slate. She shows no love for country. She shows no love for her men. She's out for vengeance against insects, and that's all that motivates her. I mean, it's such a one-note character, and it's a damn shame because, again, Hayao Miyazaki is a better writer than this. I know he can make much more multi-layered and fascinating, morally ambiguous anti-heroes slash antagonists. And my final qualm with this film deals with the English dub done by Disney. Oh dear Lord. Talk about a train wreck. That shit was horrendous. It's without question the worst Disney dub for a Studio Ghibli film I've heard so far. And I heard the one for My Neighbor Totoro, and it's worse than that one. Most of the actors and actresses they chose to voice characters in this film don't fit the characters that they're voicing. There was only one actor that I felt like fit the character he was voicing, and that was Patrick Stewart as Lord Yupa. They picked a good person to voice that character. His voice fit perfectly with them, and his performance wasn't half bad either. Everybody else? What the hell were they thinking when they casted these people? I mean, seriously, who was the casting director? Fire their asses. Because who thought it was a great idea to cast Shia LaBeouf as Asbel? He sounds so out of place in this world, and his performance is lackluster at best. Whoever gave him direction, you did a shit job at directing this actor. Either that, or Shia LaBeouf is just really god-awful when it comes to voice acting. And the same person that gave direction to the girl who voices Nausicaa, you also did a shit job. In fact, it probably is the same person, but whoever gave direction to her, you did terribly, because she wasn't able to be expressive enough. She wasn't able to emote well through her vocal performance. I mean, sure, she does sound innocent and she fits the character to a certain degree, but she sounds way too old for the character. The character seems like she's in her teens, and the voice of the character seems like somebody in their late 20s, early 30s. Doesn't match the character whatsoever. And then there's Uma Thurman voicing Kushana. She kind of fit the role, but again, her deliveries were so weak and unbelievable. See, this is why voice acting is an art form. No random Joe can just go into a studio and put their voice onto a mic and say, I'm a voice actor. No, there's actually a lot of hard work that goes into voice acting. You need to put effort into that shit. You know who was the best performance besides Patrick Stewart in this film? Treese McNeil. And that's because she's a established and revered voice actress who's been in a ton of animated series and animated films. She is a veteran and she knows her shit. Everybody else, they have no idea what the hell they're doing. Oh, you want me to read these lines? Okay, I'll read it. That's what a majority of the performances felt like. They were just reading their lines. No sense of expression, no sense of weight, no sense of emoting. Disappointing, Disney. What the hell? So overall, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is the perfect example of what the Nostalgia Critic calls a film you know should be phenomenal, but doesn't feel phenomenal. I get why some people might like this film. I get its deeper meaning, what its message was. I get what the characters are supposed to be like. I get it all, but it just didn't resonate with me. It didn't appeal to me. And I just don't see the praise that this film is getting, especially since Miyazaki will later make a similar film like this more than a decade later and done way better. And that's why I'm gonna give this film a 3 out of 5 stars. It's okay, you know, if you don't see Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, I personally won't hate you. I'm sure nobody will make a big fuss about it, so it's just okay.
I want to say thank you very much to the Black Critic Guy for letting me on here again. My name is Flip from After End Media. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching.
But as always, guys, I'm not the end-all be-all opinion when it comes to Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. I would love to know what you guys thought about the film as well. Did you absolutely adore it? Did you agree with After End Media's opinion and thought the film was a masterpiece? Or did you agree with me and found it really derivative, dull, boring? You just couldn't get into it, you don't understand the praise for the film. And I know I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but I'm very curious to know, what is your least favorite Hayao Miyazaki film? Not least favorite Studio Ghibli film, least favorite Hayao Miyazaki film. Comment below, let me know, and I want to take this time to personally thank After End Media, our first collaborator for Studio Ghibli Month, for joining me in this review. Thank you so much, buddy, for being a part of this. And if you'd like to see more from him, please go check out his channel. There'll be a link right here at the end of the video, and there's a link to his channel in the description. Go check him out. He's a great guy, and he's always here to support me. He's always up to do a collaboration, and that's why I love him so much. Stay tuned, more Studio Ghibli reviews coming your way, more collaborations coming your way, movie reviews, anime reviews, all that good shit coming your way. And if you'd like to support the Black Critic Guy just a smidge more, why not donate to my Patreon account? Link is in the description. And if you'd like to send me any fan letters, mail it to this P.O. box right up here. And as always, guys, if you would like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. I'm Tony Wild II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.